All right, it's right at 1 o'clock here, so we'll get started. Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Andy Simmons. I'm the Vault Education Specialist here at Intelligent Video Solutions. Thank you for attending our webinar today, where we're going to cover kind of all things comments within version 6 of Vault. The demo site that I'll be using is on version 6.4, but it's kind of covering everything from version 6 in its entirety here. If your institution is running version 5 of Vault, this will look a little different than your experience. I think you'll still find value in it. Although I do suggest that maybe you go back to our webinar from January at some point, and there you can see a side-by-side comparison of version 5 and version 6, so you know what it'll look like if and when you update. If you have an active support agreement with us, we also suggest that you reach out to us so that we can schedule time to get you the latest and greatest, which you are entitled to as a customer of ours. I'll go ahead and share my screen and talk about the plan for this short webinar today. Okay. So the plan today is to break up the webinar, well, really into like kind of 4, but really only 3 portions. First, I'll show you where you can find Vault content if you want to find other training materials or old webinars. But really, the demo portion will break up into 3 parts. To start, we'll simply cover the various types of comments that you and anyone else, your institution using Vault, could potentially use. Then I'll take a step back and we'll talk about the administrative settings needed to either activate or deactivate these different comment features. I will do it out of order like this so that there's some context to the different permissions and settings that I'll show you in part 2. Otherwise, you'll just see a sea of checkboxes, but not know exactly what you're turning on and turning off. So again, we'll show the stuff first, then we'll show the administrative setup of those comments. And then third and finally, we'll talk about kind of that next step where you can use the comments in various ways, such as bringing them out of the software, replying, getting alerts, running stats, things of that nature, creating a much more, kind of interactive learning experience for your team, because ultimately that's kind of the goal of using a product like Vault. Really, that's the L of the video audio learning tool, right? To use technology efficiently and appropriately to actually advance the learning of you, your team, your students, whomever. So I'm sure most people on the call, most people these days are kind of familiar with the Anders Ericsson concept of like 10,000 hours of deliberate practice for mastery. Well, more importantly than the quantity in something like that is going to be the quality, right? The actual, what goes into those hours. So that's the deliberate part, right? So this entails effective feedback from an expert in the field, which is the people on this call. So I'm confident that the features we'll demonstrate today will help you achieve that goal of helping your team or your students or whomever kind of achieve mastery a little bit faster. So that's what we'll be going through today. And to start, I'll show you again where I'm going to kind of put this Vault content. I will show this in a moment in real time, not just in text, but our Vault content is all found on the IVS Wiki, where actually if you log into Vault, click on your profile and click Help, and click on the IVS Wiki, you can find our video content. So let's show you kind of where this is if you've never used this before. I'm going to go ahead and log into Vault. I'm going to click on my profile and the Help button. And you'll find IVS Wiki /FAQ. This may be where you registered for this webinar, but this is where we put our video content, our manual, and so forth. So the webinar is going to be put right in here, either later on this afternoon or maybe in the morning tomorrow if you'd like to review this again. It's also where you can see new features for version 6.3 and soon 6.4. And then if you want to make any modifications to your permissions, we also have videos on every single permission, what it does, what it looks like for the end user. Okay. With that, we're going to go ahead and begin the demo portion of our webinar, and we're going to start with just the various types of comments that you or any other users could potentially put into a recording. And this could be done either during live recording, right? If you're observing and you hit record, you can leave comments in real time, or it can be in review. So I'm going to grab a video that's in review. And we'll just take a look to start at the 6 or 7, depending on how you view it, types of comments that you can add to a recording. let's go ahead and click on my respiratory care recording here. Hit pause, delete some of these old comments that I have so I can add them again for you. So you notice right away, obviously my comments came up. If you don't see this comment pane along the left-hand side, then you can click on it right over here. So if you're looking at a different screen, you can always click this button right here, and this will bring you back to the comments. So I kind of group these into a few different parts. One, there's what you see kind of here, which is just free text comments. If I'm watching a video and I need to leave some sort of comment, I can use free text and just start typing my comment. And this is, whatever I need to put in. If I'm watching this video, though, I might not want to keep going back to play, typing it again, going back to play. So I might just be watching the recording and at some time start typing, and you'll notice that the video stopped, right? So this is a nice setting that we added in. If you're leaving comments along the way, there are a couple of settings here. Excuse me. One that says auto pause. So if you turn on auto pause, it's a great way to not have to leave your keyboard while you leave a comment. It's just going to pause the video. Once I hit enter, the video continues. So again, you can stay on your keyboard. It's just less clicks, makes your life a little bit easier, especially if you're going through lots of videos or maybe a video that's kind of longer. That's our free text with auto pause. Actually, I'm going to pause it for now, though. You can also, if I click on this audio button right here, you get the idea of what's about to come. I can switch it from text mode to an audio recording. And, I really like things like this these days because, if you think about how you interact with social media platforms, texting apps, things of that nature, we use talk to text a whole lot in our lives these days. So maybe you have something that you don't want to type, or you're using an iPad or something that's just inconvenient to type out the entire comment. You can also just hit record. See my microphone in use. And now my recording is taking place. I can stop this and drop my comment into the video. If I hover over this, you'll see that there's an audio comment at this point. So, and I can have these just side by side, free text and an audio comment, whatever we might need. There's one other setting along that auto pause. And this one's a little bit of a tongue twister, the auto play audio. Auto play audio is if I'm watching a video, if I'm watching a recording, it's going to play. And when it gets to that point, not sure if everybody heard that or not, actually, through the webinar, but it paused it, it played my audio comment, and then it continued on. So similar to the auto pause, it kind of has less disruptions in your leaving of comments, in your actual review of this footage. So I can either hear it along the timeline, or I could always just click play and listen to it. So those are kind of our two just basic ways to leave comments, which is the free text and the audio mode. Now, those are kind of open-ended, right? People can put anything they want into there. So it could make a little more sense as an institution who, if you need to pull data, you want to see how often a certain type of comment goes in. You want to train your students to leave comments a certain way to give them a little more structure around their comments. So we have two ways that allow you to do that, to give more structure to your comments. The first is right above the free text, which are called quick markers. This has always existed in VALT, but quick markers are where you define the text that's going to go in here. And while somebody is reviewing a video, they can simply observe something and click the comment or click the marker, and it drops it in there. Observe something else, click the marker. No disruption, no having to leave your mouse or your keyboard. Just add your comments as the video plays. Again, you're defining the words that go into there. And if you need to go back at a later date and add a little more context, that's fine. But in that first review, again, less disruptions with the review. So that's if you want to decide exactly what goes into the comment. But maybe you want something kind of in between text, where you have open-endedness, and quick markers, where you define everything that goes into it. More of a comment template, where we lay out the structure and you or your students or your employees actually input certain data. So what this would look like is just below the text, free text field, you see open comment templates. This is something I'll show the creation of in a moment. But if I click on open comment templates, I have a few different templates that I've given this user access to. I'm just going to click on kind of this generic looking one, but you create the fields and the type of field that exists, and then the user just puts in their information, and this drops a comment in a certain format. So in my case, I made a free text field to start. I made a drop down proficiency shown. Are we approaching expectations, meeting, exceeding? And then I made a longer, note section. But you can put in multi-select, drop downs, free text, and so forth. And when the person hits to send the comment, you'll see it dropped in a more structured format so that all your comments, again, follow that similar format. And it's easy to do things like run stats and train your team to leave feedback the way that you'd like them to. So quick markers and comment templates are a great way, again, to give a little more structure so that you can pull that data back in an effective way at a later date. Okay, so that's already 4, right? We have free text, audio, quick markers, and comment templates, all within the same little bubble here. A few other things that we can do, I don't know if these would count as different types of comments, but just features of the comments. One is add mention. So there's multiple people in this video, and there might be other people who have access to this video, and I'm going to leave a comment, but maybe it's not for everybody. Maybe I'm watching myself here, and I'm going to leave a comment for my professor, or I'm leaving a comment for one person in the video. I don't want everyone else to see it, whatever it might be. I can either hit add mention, or I can just type in the @ sign. But regardless, what happens is it opens up all the other users that are in your user group. And now I can direct a comment at a specific person. So I could say, hey, Carrie, I noticed this. And then nobody else but Carrie is going to see this comment. Or I could leave, I could comment, direct comments towards a couple people, Carrie and Adam. I need you guys to take a look at this thing. And I'm going to say this part again. Nobody except for them can see this. So this is going to be a private comment directed at only the people that are listed in that mention. And then when I hit send, it'll drop it here, but you'll see their names. And again, if I reviewed this and I wasn't either the person who left the comment or these 2 people, you won't see it there. So that's the mention. Then attach a file based on what we saw in here. Maybe they need to review certain procedures, or I need them to fill out a certain form. Whatever your reason, you can also just include as a comment a file for somebody to download and then use however they see fit. It'll no longer be in the software. So if I hit attach file, it's just going to open up my file explorer. Here, I'll put our company letterhead into here. And it's going to include it as a comment. If I hover over it, you'll see the name of the document, letterhead. I'm not going to tell you how you need to use that, because this will be up to every institution. If it's something that they want to include, you have the option to do so. So mentions go only towards the people that are mentioned. Files, if I don't mention somebody, it's going to go to everybody. The last type of comment that you might need to do is actually just reply to somebody's comment. So rather than leaving another pin on the timeline, I see something that somebody put into here, I can hit the reply and really just start a thread. So it grabs the original one, puts it down here, and I can start a thread. So I have great example. What do you mean? I can hide this if I don't need to see the entire thing. Or I could even, have mentioned that person in here. But this is where you really start to get that dialogue, that, like I mentioned, the deliberate practice, the immediate feedback from an expert in the field, by having that quick communication between multiple people about what we're doing, right? Really pushing that learning forward. So those are all the different types of comments that I might want to actually put on a video, whether it's in recording or in review. Now let's take a step back to the second part, which is taking a look at, okay, how do you set this up? Maybe I want people to have access to this and they don't now, or I see they have access to this and I want to remove it. We're going to go into the settings. And this is done at the user group level. So I'm going to go to users and groups. And I know some people on this call, maybe you've never seen this part before, but I'm going to let you know this is here in case you're, if you have access to this. I'll select the user group I want to change the permissions for. I was using my skills training admin user group. So I'm going to edit this and scroll down to where we find a sea of checkboxes underneath rights. Rights are everything that you allow them or don't allow them to do within the system itself. If I expand this, you'll see all the different checkboxes that you could potentially check or uncheck with little descriptions of each one. But I'm just going to focus on two areas, one of them being review and one of them being in live observation. So I'm going to open up just by clicking on the entire thing here, open up the review, and down in review, I find comments, and comments opens up a little bit further. So within comments, you can grant the user group the ability to add comments in the first place. If you don't want them to leave comments like we're showing here, if you see this and you're like, oh, that's not for us, uncheck it. Edit is the ability to edit the comment after it's already been submitted. And you can do this kind of on two levels. Edit their own, or if I open it up, you can have them edit other people's. This would probably be more reserved for some sort of administrator. Do you want them to be able to delete comments? Once I submit a comment, should that be there forever? Or can I delete it? Can I delete other people's comments? Guessing for most students, you'll probably remove the all authors, but again, just know that that option exists. Overlay is not something that I showed, but had we watched that recording in full screen,